everyone, my name is Shelby and this is the YouTube series where I reveal what's inside these mystery pottery molds I found on Gumtree. Hello and welcome to part 23. Now I need to apologize first up because my voiceovers aren't going to be the best because I'm doing them in the shed because our house is having major renovations. But this mold really excites me because it's called Theo the Frog Key Holder. It's made in Hillard, USA, 1997. So I'm really excited because I love frogs. Opening it up, it's got some rubber registration marks and one plaster registration mark, and it's quite dirty, and I can see it's really textured on the back, and the feet are really cute as well. So I'm really excited to see how this looks once it's all together. You can see the hole of where that becomes a key holder. So I sponge it back. It's really hard to actually get into the texture, but given once I pour it and fire it, all that dirt will burn off the piece that I've poured in that initial pour. So I pour it up. I'm a little bit concerned about the shape of it with just one hole, actually getting into all those webbed details on the feet and the texture on the back. So I give it lots of jiggling to sort of move the clay around and then top it up as it sort of goes down. I'm doing this it's sped up, so I actually do this quite gently. It looks really aggressively in this, but yeah. So once that was set, I tip the excess out. I generally wait 15 to half an hour before I tip out the excess, and you do have to tip out the excess on all the pieces. I haven't really found any that you don't tip out. That's just because you need airflow in the piece. It can't be a solid piece because otherwise air pockets can explode in them. So opening it up, it didn't work. It had gaps in the bottom like how I suspected, and I feel like this is going to be one of those molds that's a little bit difficult to fill in. So I ended up doing another one and pouring it, same process, and it looks really good on the top surface. It's really detailed, really textured. It's got two little flowers and it's got really sweet eyes, but as I gently pulled it out, the bottom of this also didn't fill up. So what I ended up doing was patching both of them up as best I could so that I could still use them. I only ended up getting 1 out of 3 that was good, like complete, and that's because I did this jiggling motion and just kept doing it until the mold was full. You could see the mold in the mold, the clay just kept going down and down as I jiggled it more. So it just showed that it really did need a little bit more work to it on that third one. So as they say, the third one's the charm, right? So now that those 3 are done, I'm sponging them back, getting rid of that sort of mark from the mold like I do every mold. And these ones actually really overwhelm me because I don't know what to do about the texture. I don't know if I have any glazes that do what I want to do with them. So I'm really excited but also really reluctant to paint them in a way. Like I kind of procrastinated them because I wanted to get it perfect straight away. And I sort of had to have that little chat to myself to remind myself that it's okay if I don't get it right. I think because I've had such a good success rate with a lot of the molds, I'm getting a lot of pressure to keep up that success rate. So I just said to myself, I just need to go for it and try these ideas out, because at the end of the day, it's an experiment and I develop myself as an artist as I learn more about the craft and color combinations and what works. So I decided to take a bit of a risk and do something that I haven't done before, which is do underglaze with glaze. I've never really done that. I know that you can do that. I just have always avoided it because it's an uncomfy zone, because I've kind of got my product that I make and it became a real comfort zone for me, constantly doing that and knowing what worked but not expanding my level of knowledge of what I could also do with the mediums. So with the first frog, I'm painting it blue, so it's got a blue underglaze, and then I'm dabbing some darker blue as a bit of added texture, and then I'm doing the features, so the little detailed features on the face with that darker blue. And I must say that the eyes on this and the smile make these so sweet. Like they kind of fit my style really lovely, like it really well, that I didn't realize they would. I kind of thought that they might have been too reptilian or too lifelike, but adding my style eye has brought them into what I do. So that's really, really exciting that I might be able to keep doing these. And I really like these now that I've added my eye. I know that that's such a small detail, but it's really changed how I felt about them as soon as I added that. So with the second one, I'm doing the underglaze again underneath, and then I'm going to add a green glaze on the top that's got some speckling through it. I didn't mention before, but with that blue one that I just painted, I'm going to be adding that cobalt wash. So you might remember that if from the Santa ornaments, I think that was mould 7, I added that cobalt wash that came with a set of the molds, and it came out with this really lovely blue indigo hue with deep, rich, like almost black tones in the areas where it divoted. So I'm hoping that that will act to sort of accentuate the spots on the blue one and sort of make it like one of those blue and black spotty frogs. So again, adding those details to the eyes and little sort of like nostril features on this one. And I'll just paint away, so I add a bit more texture to that, and then I get onto the third design. So I'll try and back in when that happens. So here we are with the third one, and I've gone completely off the blue-green color palette of frogs, and I'm going for an ombre effect. I haven't done an ombre effect since I was literally doing my first pots. I did them one color ombre, and this I'm trying to do a multiple color ombre throughout the frog. So starting with the purple and then ending with a soft orange, and then having all the details in a really deep, so like a warm, bright tone of orange. So hopefully they will all complement each other on the frog. So enjoy whilst I mix those colours. So the way I did the ombre was I started with my darkest colour, then mixed it with the next colour, then did the next colour, then mixed that colour with the next colour. I don't know whether this is making sense, but it just was able to make a really smooth transition into the next colour by mixing it with the one before it, if that makes any sense how I've explained it, but you'll see what I've done with the paint palette as I go. So adding these colors, I am just so impressed because this is what it looks like. It's not even glazed yet, and I am obsessed with that tonal change. Isn't it? Oh, so impressed with myself. So here I am adding that orange detail to the eyes, and these three went into the bisque firing, and that was so I could set in the paint. so the underglaze. Once they came out, the blue one, to accentuate those spots, I added some black underglaze and sponged away the excess. So I am adding the cobalt, but I wanted to make sure that those spots were really black and they really contrasted with the blue, because with the cobalt it doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're going to be black. It just sort of goes a bit richer in the spots. So the underglaze is meant to make them a more stronger black tone color way. So adding that cobalt, I give it a good shake and I just gently applied that and brushed it. The thing with this cobalt is I don't really have much experience with it, so I've just sort of applied it really thickly and really lightly in spots, and we're just going to see how the cookie crumbles when it comes out of the kiln. Something to be mindful of when using something like cobalt is it does flash in the kiln, and I'll explain what that is in a minute when I pack the kiln. Since the colours had set, what I did was a risky move and added orange all over the sunset ombre frog, and it was a bit nerve-wracking because I was almost like I was painting over that beautiful detail, but I did the same thing that I just did with that black underglaze and sponged away the excess so that all that remained of that orange was in those divots, and it really looks amazing. Just watch this reveal. It's really satisfying, and I was so grateful it worked because I was really like putting all my bets on it for my first attempt, and I absolutely love this process, and I will be doing this colorway frog again because I love it and I need one for myself. Last but not least is that green frog. I need to add that speckled green glaze. This is just a commercial glaze. It's not one of my own mixes. To be honest, a lot of people ask me if I mix my own glazes, and I honestly wish I could. I just do not have time. And I see no shame in using commercial glazes. They are trusted, they are tried, they make beautiful colors. If you like using them, use them. I'm all for using them and not shaming other potters who use them too. I feel like there's a lot of stereotyping or prejudice, I don't know how to call it, between potters who say that they make their own glazes, and they kind of shun anyone that doesn't make their own glazes. Well, I'm here to say use commercial glazes because they're tested, they're tried. If you make them, I'm proud of you and I'm so amazed, but don't shame anyone else because some of us just don't have time to make them. Between making everything from scratch, like we all go through it, and painting every single detail, like I think we all put the same amount of effort, love, time into our work. So there's no point shaming someone who doesn't necessarily do the exact same technique as you. So once on with it, I'm already going on to it. Once it was done, I glazed them all up, made sure that there was no glaze on the bottom because that's where it rests on the kiln. So before I mentioned the cobalt, so with the cobalt it can flash, and flash means that the color can sort of kind of expose itself to the other pieces in the kiln. So like flashes of blue might turn up on other pots if it's nearby. So what I did was I really planned well this sparring and had some mugs that have some really deep indigo glazes on them. So what I did was packed that blue frog with the cobalt on it in between. It was almost like a mug jail. So I put the frog inside this mug jail so that if it did flash, it would just add a really cool effect to these mugs instead of ruining your work that I didn't want the flashing on. So it was pretty strategic, and I was pretty proud of myself that I happened to have pieces that I didn't mind the flashing occurring. So kiln sorted for that. I opened it up and I am just so impressed. For something that I was really overwhelmed about, really nervous to sort of put myself out there and try something new, I guess try new ideas and make mistakes. I was really excited that I knocked the kiln's tilt over on its way out, and here is the finished result. I love this green. It is so lovely. It's a commercial one, as I said before. I think that it would have been cooler if I could have gotten a more vibrant and less olivey tone, but this is all I had. So I really like how that texture sort of accentuates those spots, because that's exactly what I wanted. And underneath, it's got a really good opening for any keys that you want to hold in Theo. The blue one came out so amazing. I love it. The black, the blue, it's so perfect. I think I could have gone even darker on the back, kind of like these feet. The feet's got that really lovely indigo with the black. So I think I could have gone even darker. Again, really lovely hole. I'll explain why I'm picking it up with my sleeve in a second. And then the third one is my absolute favorite. I freaking love this. This is so perfect. It's like literally a dream. I can't believe I made this. I'm really proud of it. It's so different to my usual work, and I love it. So this one also has a great hole for hiding keys. I'm picking it up with my sleeve because they just came out of the kiln, and I was too excited to reveal them that I decided to use my sleeve to show you. And the hole here, I'm jumping so fast for this voiceover, I'm so sorry, but I'm just so excited. All of them fit keys perfectly, so they're doing their job, and here they are bouncing around the garden. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm obsessed. I can't wait to make a few more. So yeah, let me know in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe for part 23 already. I'm very excited. Aren't they cute? I'm so impressed. Anyway, thanks for watching.